Why would you say I usually have an opinion? I keep I keep my opinions to myself. Um, you know, these guys haven't played in an NCAA tournament, so I'm trying to keep them focused on the little pod and really basically saying you don't even need to worry about San Francisco or Murray because we don't know who's winning that game. And we need to worry about St. Peter's, and that's how this goes. You're playing in a pod for a weekend. That's all you worry about, nothing else.
Yeah, I hope I can ask too. But John, how well you guys have a lot of experience, college basketball experience. How can that help in the postseason, and how is the postseason a different animal to where that's not as big a factor?
Well, my hope is we've been teaching them to be a machine so that you're never up, down, you just keep playing. Um, there are games where you're not going to shoot it well, but you got to try to win anyway. And, the veteran guys, I would hope would know that. But like I just told the TV I was talking to that, you know, I'm really upset with myself with the Tennessee stuff. We didn't do a shoot around. It's the first time we haven't done a shoot around. Then you say, well, why didn't you do one? Well, we had a bad time at the arena, so we were going to go to Tampa and just go there and do a shoot around. And then it was only 6 minutes away. I decided not to do it. And the staff said, what's your gut say? My gut said, let's go do this. And then the more I thought about it, I said, hey, you know what? We can walk through and blah, blah, blah. Mistake. Did that lead to how we played, our guard play, and some other stuff? We will not know, but I do know we've been consistent in what we've done. So guard play is important in this thing. And what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to have individual meetings where I can again talk about the roles on this team, what your job is for us. And so that we could be clear that I want guys to be stars at their role, stars at what they got to do for the team. That's what I'm trying to get them to. We got fight now. We got a team that'll fight, but that's part of it. The other part of it is you got to be a machine now. We broke down 4 times in that game, just broke down when you had a chance to win. But when you go 2 for 20, it's hard to win, and it was hard for us to even make a comeback.
Yeah, you had voiced concern that the committee might lump together the 2 of the top 4 teams in regions. They didn't do that, but only 6 SEC teams made it. And you were saying maybe more could have. What was your overall reaction to the committee's work?
Well, the Texas A&M thing, I was really stunned at. I guess before our tournament started, they weren't close. Now that's hard for me to believe. They were 9-9 in our league, and down the stretch they played their best basketball. That's what I call the eye test. But it must have been that. It couldn't have been any other reason because they played as well as anybody. And they had an extra game. Wasn't it their 4th game? The final game was their 4th game in 4 days. You knew they were going to let go of the rope at some point. But I thought, I was kind of surprised Tennessee got a 3 and not a 2. I was. But again, that would have put Tennessee, Auburn, and us all on this 2 line, which I would have been fine with. Like, that's good. Probably deserve it.
No, coach, hope you're doing well. From coaching standpoint, what different do you expect to see from your players than the SEC tournament in that tournament right now? What different do you expect to see from them?
Well, it's not going to be back-to-back games, and we've been consistent all year. What I like is I've said we've got a lot of guys if a player or two are not playing well, we can replace them with players who have helped us win this year. You saw Lance had to play in that first half. He did fine. You've seen Kellen and Davion have to be the only two guards. They did fine. We played Jacob. We played Keon. We've had Damian. We've had Bryce. We got a full roster. Now it's okay. What is your role going to be with us going forward? What do you have to do to help our team win? What do you star in? And it can't, it's got to be what this team needs you to do.
And also for you as a coach and as an Italian, have you got any influence from European basketball, especially at those type of games, your die games, especially for the tournament?
Well, FIBA basketball, it appears as though our game in America is moving more toward FIBA, where the big guys stand out and shoot, the spacing of the game. You don't have mush mouth, two guys next to the basket anymore. That's done. You don't have a passing game where there's 22 screens and screen and screen and screen, and then everybody's in the lane. Everything is spaced wide, trying to create rotations. I mean, that's all FIBA. So, I benefited by being a part of the Dominican Republic and coaching USA basketball for a minute. And but it was good, and we benefited as coaches from it.
Daryl?
Yeah, John, I was curious when yesterday when things go haywire, I know you're going to have meetings to define roles again. Even with a veteran team, how hard is it to stay away from that hero ball you talk about where things going so bad, every player thinks, I've got to do something to bring us back and take on too much?
Well, we had a little bit of that. But what we had were some guys that could not, they were barely hitting the rim. Let's just put it that way. They weren't straight. They were rifling off. What it does is it messes with you mentally. We had one guy that missed 2 shots and then wouldn't shoot the ball. And he's played great. 1 dribble, pull-ups, elbow jumpers. He's been like lockdown, knock it. But he missed 2. He was done. We had guys that missed shots. And then you know what happened on defense?
Didn't play.
They broke down. They stopped playing. Those 2 back doors were like backbreakers. Why did they happen? Why would you stop playing? You're probably still thinking about how I'm doing offensively. So that affected us. And it was the older guys, one of the young guys. But again, what I said to them, 2 for 20 and a chance to win, and then have the breakdowns and still have a chance to win, we fought. And it shows us now you can't play that way in the tournament. And I'm happy we kind of got it out of our way, but I'm going to put a bunch of it with no shoot around. And I told the guys today, you know what I said? Look at me and say, Coach, go with your gut. We'll follow. Just go with your gut. Don't be listening. If that's what you feel, we're all in. Just tell me that. Because normally if I'm feeling something and we go with it, something's leading me to that direction.
Thanks, sir.
Kyle?
Yeah, Cal, I haven't really heard you say much that you hate about your draw, which we usually don't get too deep into these without some of that. But also, as a completely unrelated thing, I wonder when you have a guy like Kellen who's been as good as he's been, to go in a sort of a funk like he's in right now, is there something you could do with him as a coach to sort of dial him back in?
Well, we'll meet tomorrow, and part of it was me showing him how much I believed in him by giving him that last shot, putting him in the game for that reason. And I said, there are times I believe more in you than you believe in yourself. Can't be that way. And these kids have worked hard. Their confidence shouldn't be a 1/4 inch thick. They work too hard. Things go bad, but you still believe in yourself. And so I think we're there. We've got, some individual tape. It's great if you do like a highlight tape for individual players, like Kellen gets his own tape. You can make that 2 hours long and they'll watch it in one sitting because it's them. So we'll put some tapes together. We'll try to get them. You got to have a little swagger going into this thing. You know, having that Kentucky uniform on, you know, okay, let's go. But the swagger is what's in the uniform.
I got time for one more. Kent Spencer, go ahead.
Yeah, John, you kind of touched on it before. There feels like there's an old saying, like you're going to have to win a game when you don't play great in the NCAA tournament. Is it possible that maybe you guys kind of got that out of the way at the SEC tournament?
I hope so. I hope I learned my lesson too, but I hope it's, you know, I just think these are such great kids. They're such great teammates that, you know what, I didn't tell them this, but I was going to. If I told them this part, that if Ty and Severe don't play well, we already know we can go with Davion and Kellen. If Kellen doesn't play well, we can go with Bryce. We've seen it in LSU. If Keon doesn't play well, we can go to Jacob, or we can go to Damian. We've got him prepared, or even Bryce. You got Oscar and Lance and even Damian if we needed to at the 5. So I didn't finish the statement by saying, unless 5 or 6 of you all play bad, we'll be fine. So, you know, you have room for a couple guys to play poorly and don't get mad. And they shouldn't get upset. Just be ready the next game. It's not your game. But we had more than just 1 or 2 guys in that last game, and give Tennessee credit. I mean, they took it right at us. You know, they probably were a big part of us missing. Some of them were open and not even close. But, you know, they're a good team.
Coach, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks.